Ever since I became a roller coaster enthusiast, I've always tried to get a meaningful credit that would be a multiple of 5 for a credit for me, even if it was an obscure number like my 35th credit. It was after I rode my 16th credit, Velocicoaster, that I started to care about it. I've ridden 13 roller coasters that would qualify for this list, and 10 of them land in my top 25. That's how much I care about it. Without anything further to say, let's get into the ranking. In last place is my 25th credit, Boomerang at Elitch Gardens. There's nothing particularly impressive about this credit. Sure, it has the first backwards inversions I've experienced, but there's not much outside of that. It had a little bit of a shake, but it wasn't bad. Other than those aspects, it really just reminded me of a classic Arrow Looper. It was an alright ride, and I do plan on rewriting it when I go back to Elitch Gardens this year. I just don't really think the unique aspects make it a special coaster to have a credit mentioned in this video, especially for being my 25th credit. Taking the next spot is my 10th credit, Space Mountain at Magic Kingdom. Despite the unimpressive stats, this ride feels incredibly fast because those turns and airtime pops are just violent. I wouldn't even call this ride uncomfortable from the jank and pacing. There's nothing really wrong with this ride. There are just plenty of other coasters I happen to place above it. Up next is my 5th credit, Wild Thing at Valley Fair. This ride had quite the fall from grace last year. It would still be in my top 25 if I didn't move it down. I've come to realize that I have been pushing myself up in the second half, and I've realized that there's no airtime in the second half because of that. The first half, however, is still filled with great moments. The first drop gives fantastic flowjector airtime in the back row, and the subsequent airtime moments provide great floater airtime in every seat. The helixes even have a bite to them. The last one before the mid-course is particularly powerful and has made me gray out a couple times. The S-bends in this section can be quite painful because of the speed and profiling, but other than that and the lackluster second half, this ride still kicks ass. Entering my overall top 25, I have my 15th credit, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind at Epcot. This ride captures Disney magic perfectly. It has an incredible story to go along with a forceful ride. I love the story that the ride put me in. As an MCU fan, I was fully invested into the story, and the best part was that I felt like I was a part of it throughout the whole experience. Add on the forceful layout, and this ride becomes a perfect Disney coaster. Taking the 9th spot on this list is my 40th credit, Max Force at Six Flags Great America. This ride is the definition of short but sweet. There are only 4 real elements on this ride, but they all slap. The launch is easily the best one I've experienced. After the launch, there's a step up that provides a very quick dose of ejector airtime. Both sets of 2 inversions may not be super forceful, but I found them to have weird hang time. And that barrel roll is one of my favorite inversions because of how well it flows and how snappy it is. This ride provides all kinds of forces in a very short layout, and I love it for that. In the next spot is my 30th credit, Marugani at Lost Island. This is another ride that wastes none of its little amount of track. The launch may not have a fast top speed, but it certainly feels punchy. The rest of the ride has some extreme forces as well. 2 of the 3 airtime hills and the top hat provide very strong doses of airtime and laterals. Sure, the last hill is kind of lame along with the subsequent turnaround, but they lead into a hangtime-filled inline twist, which complements the loop that also has good hangtime. Overall, this ride takes full advantage of its small stature. Taking the 7th spot on this list is my 65th credit, Magnum XL200 at Cedar Point. This ride has a very polarizing reputation in the enthusiast community. I feel that I land somewhere in the middle. I don't praise this ride solely for its second half, but I don't find it extremely uncomfortable. Because I sat in the front row, the airtime moments in the beginning were kind of weak. But that's the only criticism I have. I found the rest of the ride to be janky fun. The airtime hills directly before and after the turnaround provide strong floater airtime. And I don't even need to mention how powerful those final airtime hills are. This ride is everything Wild Thing at Valley Fair should be, except for the first Airtime Hills. Wild Thing's first one is still better. Entering the top 10 of my overall list, I have my 55th credit, Raptor at Cedar Point. This ride is full of the most intense and snappy moments I've experienced on a roller coaster. The loop, Cobra roll, and final turns had me graying out the whole time, and the zero-G roll and corkscrews whipped me to the side of my seat. There are some moments of meandering, but I don't really mind them because they let me breathe a little. I'd pick no other coaster at this park to introduce me to the coasters at this park. Up next is my 45th credit, Raging Bull at Six Flags Great America. This ride has the best floater airtime on any coaster I've ridden, with a little ejector sprinkled in. The first drop and drop off of the mid-course provide fantastic doses of ejector airtime. The airtime hills throughout the rest of the ride provide great floater airtime. I even felt my butt lifting out of my seat coming out of those high turns. Speaking of the turns, I didn't find them to be particularly forceful, but I did get some enjoyment out of them. I would still not say that there were any dead spots on this ride, though. Taking the next spot is my 50th credit, Goliath at Six Flags Great America. With this ride's short length, none of its track is wasted. It manages to squeeze in 3 fantastic ejector airtime moments with the drop, camelback, and step up into the brake run. To complement the airtime, this ride also throws in 2 well-placed inversions that provide great whip and hang time. Even the so-called filler elements had some bite to them. All of the power in this ride's elements made me forget about the short duration, and I was able to enjoy this ride to its fullest. Taking the bronze medal for this list is my 35th credit, Monster at Adventureland. Aside from airtime, this ride has it all. It has decent whip from the dive loop, Immelman, and the entrance into the overbanked inversion. It has hang time all over the place, and the positives in the valleys are decently intense. There's not too many outstanding moments, but all of the elements make this a very well-rounded experience. Taking the silver medal here is my 20th credit, Hades 360 at Mount Olympus. This ride has everything a wooden coaster should have, and more. It has airtime of all strengths, and every airtime moment gives at least decent floater airtime. The laterals are crazy, especially in the tunnel, in which the lights were off for me. The corkscrew is well placed, and it doesn't feel too crazy. There's not a lot of whip in this moment, but I love the floatiness in it. About the roughness, it wasn't too bad. I was able to ride this ride 9 times in one day, but there was one brutal spot on the step up right before the corkscrew, which is the only negative I have on this amazing wooden coaster. Taking the gold medal for this list and my overall list is my 60th credit, Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. What can I say for this ride that I haven't already said? The airtime on this ride is fantastic, and there's so much of it that I've become addicted to airtime because of this ride. The inversions all flow from the layout really well and get me to freak out for various reasons every time. The first one keeps rotating after it levels out, and I kept thinking it was going to roll again. The stall provided a very weird sensation of whip while being upside down. The last 2 inversions made me pull in my hands because I felt like I was going to hit the supports. With great airtime all over the place, well-implemented inversions, great lockers and dispatches, I would go as far to call Steel Vengeance a perfect roller coaster. That will wrap it up for this video. I hope it wasn't too weird of an idea, but I have a personal connection to each of these coasters for one reason or another, so I felt that I had to make it. Anyways, it's time for me to go now. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.